Class 10, Chapter 2, Polynomials, Module 1. Objectives, Introduction and geometrical meaning of the zeros of the polynomial. Now listen carefully, students. First one, Introduction. The 9th class also the same one. Second chapter is which one? Polynomials. So we have studied the chapter polynomials. So some points from that chapter. Okay. That is, if p of x is a polynomial in x, the variable x, the highest power of x in p of x is called the degree of the polynomial p of x. Okay, that we know the definition of degree of the polynomial. Highest power of the variable is called the degree of the polynomial. For example, 4x plus 2 is a polynomial in the variable x of degree 1. Next, 2y square minus 3y plus 4 is a polynomial in the variable y of degree 2. Now, first one, a polynomial of degree 1 is called a linear polynomial. So, examples which one? 2x minus 3, root 3x plus 5, etc. Next, a polynomial of degree 2 is called what? Quadratic polynomial. The name quadratic has been derived from the word quadrate, which means what? Square. Okay, square we know that power 2. Now, example what? Y square minus 2y. A polynomial of degree 3 is called a cubic polynomial. Example 2 minus y cube. Now, the next point. If p of x is a polynomial in the variable x, and if k is any real number, then the value obtained by replacing x by k in p of x is called the value of p of x at x is equal to k and is denoted by p of k. Instead of x we can put any number. Okay, so in here instead of numbers we put which one? K. Now, first one, listen carefully. What is the value of p of x? Is equal to x square minus 3x minus 4 at x is equal to minus 1. Now, instead of x, we need to substitute which one? Minus 1. So, p of minus 1 is equal to minus 1 square minus 3 into minus 1 minus 4. Now, p of minus 1 is equal to what? 0. That is minus 1 square. Minus of minus become what? 3 into 1, 3 minus 4. So minus 1 minus 3 minus 1, then minus 1 square become plus 1. Minus into minus become plus 3. So what? Plus 4 minus 4 equal to 0. So p of minus 1 is what here? 0. Is called the 0 of the quadratic polynomial x square minus 3x minus 4. More generally, a real number k is said to be a 0 of the polynomial p of x, then p of k equal to 0. Now, in general, if k is a 0 of p of x, the polynomial p of x is equal to ax plus b, then p of k is equal to ak. Instead of x, we put what? K. Ak plus b. So, what? Which is equal to 0, then k is equal to what? Minus b by a. That is what? The coefficient of the linear polynomial ax plus b, the 0 of the linear polynomial ax plus b is what? Minus b by a, which is what? Minus of constant term by coefficient of x. The standard form of linear polynomial is ax plus b. So, minus of b is what? Constant term by a is what? Coefficient of x. Okay, so all these points we have studied in the 9th class. Now next, the geometrical meaning of the zeros of a polynomial. So listen carefully. In this first exercise, some graphs are given in your textbook, but the graph is not important for you. Just in your examination the graph is given and you need to read the number of zeros from the graph, that only. but since it is given in a textbook, we can just discuss it. Okay. Then first one example, draw the graph of y is equal to 2x plus 3. So y is equal to 2x plus 3 is what type of polynomial? Yes, a linear polynomial. Now to draw the graph, we need to draw the table. That means when we put a value for x, we will get what? The corresponding value of y. So here the equation was y is equal to 2x plus 3. Now first we put the value of x is equal to minus 2. Then 2 into minus 2 minus 4 plus 3 become what? Minus 1. Same as when we put the value of x is equal to 2, what we get? The corresponding value of y is 7. Okay, so here we consider two values of x and find out the corresponding values of y. Now we need to draw the graph. Okay, so the graph, listen carefully. We need to draw the x-axis and also y-axis. And you know, 9th class we have studied how to plot the points. If x is equal to minus 2, the corresponding value of y is what? Y is equal to minus 1. So listen carefully. X is equal to minus 2, then the corresponding value of y is equal to what? Minus 1. Next, if x is equal to 2, the corresponding value of y is equal to what? 7. Now, join this. When we, after plotting the points, we need to join that lines using a straight line. Okay, using scale we can draw the straight line. Now the graph of the linear polynomial is what? It is a straight line that we have studied in the 9th class also. Now in general, for a linear polynomial ax plus b, where a not equal to 0, the graph of y is equal to ax plus b is a straight line which intersect the x-axis at exactly one point. Therefore, the linear polynomial ax plus b, where a not equal to 0, has exactly 1 0. Exactly how many zeros? 1 0. Okay. Now, same as example 2. Draw the graph of y is equal to x square minus 3x minus 4. So, what type of polynomial this one? Yes, it is a quadratic polynomial, second degree polynomial. Now here also we need to draw the table. So here the values of x, which are they? Minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we will get the corresponding value of y. After that, when we plot all these points, we will get what? One graph. So the shape of this graph is a parabola. The shape of the graph is what? A parabola shape. Okay. Here minus 1 and 4 are the zeros of the quadratic polynomial. So listen carefully. Minus 1 point is there. That arrow mark is there. Okay. The next one is what? Right side? 4. So minus 1 and 4 are the zeros of this quadratic polynomial. Also note that minus 1 and 4 are the x coordinates of the points where the graph of y is equal to x square minus 3x minus 4 intersect the x-axis. So listen carefully, students. Here the graph touches the x-axis at exactly 2 points. But in the case of what? The linear polynomial also, what? The graph is a straight line. It touches the graph at the point which one? X-axis. Okay. So the graph touches the x-axis at exactly one point there. So the number of zeros of that linear polynomial is what? 1. And here in this shape, the parabola touches the graph, x-axis at exactly how many points? 2 points. So the number of zeros of the quadratic polynomial is what? 2. Thus the zeros of the quadratic polynomial x square minus 3x minus 4 are x coordinates of the point where the graph y is equal to x square minus 3x minus 4 intersect the x-axis. So consider the x-axis only. Okay. Now in the case of a quadratic polynomial, there are 3 different cases. So first case, this one. Here the graph cut x-axis at 2 distinct points A and A dash. the x coordinates of a and a dash are the two zeros of the quadratic polynomial. The standard form we know that ax square plus bx plus c in this case. Now the second case, here the graph cut the x-axis at exactly one point, that is at two coincident points. Okay, we know since it is a quadratic, it having two zeros, but it is what coincident points. So the 2 points a and a dash of the case 1 coincide here to become one point a. Now third case, here the graph is either completely above the x-axis or completely below the x-axis. So it does not cut the x-axis at any point. Now geometrically, conclusion that a quadratic polynomial can have either two distinct zeros or two equal zeros, that is 1 0 or no zero. This also means that a polynomial of degree 2 has at most 2 0. That word is important. At most 2 zeros. Sometimes 1 mark question and also sometimes 2 mark questions. Okay, from this exercise, first one. Now the next one, third, example 3. Draw the graph of x cube minus 4x. What type of polynomial? Yes, a cubic polynomial. So to draw the graph, first we need to construct a table. So put some values of x, then you will get what? The corresponding value of y. Now after that, when we plot the points and joined, so this one is the shape of that cubic polynomial graph. Now we see from the table above that minus 2, 0, 2 are the zeros of the cubic polynomial. So the graph touches the x-axis. Minus 2, 0 and 2 are the zeros of the cubic polynomial x cube minus 4x. Observe that minus 2, 0 and 2 are in fact the coordinates of the only points where the graph of y is equal to x cube minus 4x intersect the x-axis. Now listen, since the curve meets the x-axis in only these 3 points, their x coordinates are the only zeros of the polynomial. Now listen the cases in the case of cubic polynomial. From the cases above, we see that there are at most 3 zeros for any cubic polynomial. In other words, any polynomial of degree 3 can have at most 3 zeros. So the first one case is what? 1 0. Second one case is what? 2 zeros. And we have studied if it is a cubic polynomial 3 zeros. But generally we can say what? A cubic polynomial having at most 3 zeros. Now the remark. In general, given a polynomial p of x of degree n, the graph of y is equal to p of x intersect the x-axis at most n points. Therefore, a polynomial p of x of degree n has at most n zeros. Okay. Now the problem, simple one. You need to find out the number of zeros from the graph, that only. So, look at the graph in the figure. H is the graph of y is equal to p of x, where p of x is a polynomial. For each of the graph, find the number of zeros of p of x. So listen the first one. Okay, the first one question, it touches the graph x-axis at exactly one point. X-axis only. Okay, don't consider the y-axis. So the number of zero what? 1. Okay, so the number of zeros of is the first one is 1 as the graph intersect the 1 as the graph intersect the x-axis at one point only. Second case also what? The number of zeros is 2 as the graph intersect the x-axis at 2 points. Now third one what? The number of zeros is 3. Fourth one what? 1. Okay, then fifth what? 1. And the last one, the number of zeros is what? 4. Clear, students? So simple exercise, but 1 mark questions and also 2 mark questions from this exercise. Okay, clear. Thank you.